The waiter placed the $3.270 bill in front of me. The laughter around the table froze mid-echo. I stared at the numbers, at the neat handwriting marking the total cost of their self-satisfied cruelty. My sister, blood only by law, leaned back, swirling her wine, eyes glinting like polished knives. "Guess family pays for family," she said, and they laughed again, all of them. I smiled. A small, quiet smile, the kind that doesn't reach the eyes. Then I took a sip of my drink, reached for my wallet, and said, "Of course." The waiter lingered, awkward, sensing something wrong. I could feel his hesitation before he spoke. "Just a moment, please." That's when I looked up, because I knew this was it. The moment it would all come full circle, I was adopted at 11. Rachel, the charity case, the afterthought, the child who came from nowhere. They never said it out loud, but I saw it in their glances, in the way my sister always introduced me with a pause. "This is Rachel, my adopted sister." The pause mattered. It always did. Still, I wanted to belong. I learned their ways, their table manners, their jokes, their silence. I learned to laugh when they laughed, to be invisible when they wanted space, to be useful when guilt whispered in their conscience. And for a while, it worked, until the inheritance. When my parents died last year, everything shifted. I wasn't mentioned in the will, not directly. The assets went to family only. My sister Miranda received the house, the shares, the accounts. But what they didn't realize was that I had been helping my father manage his business for years. I was the one who drafted those family-only clauses. I was the one who filed the amendments, signed the proxies, structured the trusts. He trusted me, not because I was blood, but because I was capable. Miranda thought she took everything. But she didn't notice the fine print. Contingent upon continued solvency of Lauren Holdings under administrative review. And guess who was appointed head of that review? Me. When I found out how deeply they mocked me, how Miranda bragged about getting rid of the charity girl, something in me went still. Not angry. Not heartbroken. Just still. Because that's when I understood. Revenge doesn't need rage. It needs clarity. I spent 3 months quietly shifting documents, reviewing transactions, finding discrepancies, Miranda's creative accounting, personal vacations filed as corporate retreats, luxury cars under company assets, private loans through shell accounts. It was all there. Every indulgence, every lie. All I had to do was connect the dots. I remember the day she called me, pretending to care. "Rachel, we should get dinner, talk things out. Family shouldn't hold grudges." I said, "Yes, of course I did." Because I needed her comfortable. I needed her confident. The dinner was her idea. The restaurant, her choice. The guest list, all her allies, cousins, business partners, family, friends. Every single person who believed I didn't belong. And there I was, sitting quietly at the edge of the table, invisible again, until she said it. "Rachel, go find another table. This one's for family, not adopted girls." That was her moment of triumph. She thought she'd finally buried me beneath humiliation. She didn't realize she'd just handed me the perfect stage. When the bill came, she expected me to crumble, 3,270, the sum of their arrogance. But as I handed the waiter my card, I noticed a familiar face at the entrance, Mr. Dalla, the corporate investigator from Lauren Holdings Board, the one who'd been reviewing the case I'd built for months. He approached the table with 2 others, men in tailored suits and unreadable expressions. That's when the waiter said it again. "Just a moment, please." The table turned toward him, then toward the men behind him. Dalla looked at Miranda first, calm, professional. "Miss Lauren," he said, "we've completed the audit. I'm afraid we need to speak with you immediately about some discrepancies." Her smile cracked. "What now?" "Yes," he said, sliding a document across the table. "Effective immediately, your accounts are frozen. Your company assets are under review, and you are being removed as managing director pending investigation." The room went silent. I didn't move. I just sipped my drink, slow and measured. Miranda turned toward me, color draining from her face. Rachel, what did you do? I tilted my head. I reviewed the paperwork. They escorted her out before dessert arrived. The others avoided my eyes. One of my cousins muttered something about a misunderstanding. Another whispered, "You didn't have to go that far." But none of them offered to pay the bill, so I signed the slip. Left the tip and rose from the table. On my way out, the waiter, the same one who tried to warn her, said softly, "Good for you." I didn't look back. Outside, the night air was cool, carrying that faint scent of rain that comes before a storm.